All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Get Healthy Tampa Bay podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Kerry Reller, and today we have Mailoha Kitchens. Did I say it right?
Mailoha, close enough.
That's prettier when you say it. Okay. Thank you for
Thank you.
correcting me. Anyway, welcome to the podcast. Why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do, and we'll go forward from there.
Of course. I am a Tampa girl. Tampa's home. I am a single mom and a widow. I have a beautiful, super sweet 3-year-old girl. Her name's Eleanor. And I am one of the coaches at Be Healthy Tampa. Your audience might have heard of our wellness center. So I have been there and we do all kinds of stuff. We start with some STIFU scan and health assessments, and then we work with our clients on all the stuff that I was doing with Mailoha Kitchens Health, accountability coaching, the meal plans, and people have different goals, right? Not everybody has the weight loss goal, which is totally fine. Some people are like, I want to watch my cholesterol. I have some hormone fluctuations going on that I'm not understanding. So we work with people that have all kinds of different goals, and our goal is to meet people where they are and then to just help them to progress to achieve those goals.
Awesome. It definitely sounds like aligning with what, I believe in and what we do at our practice. And that's what I love bringing other guests on here so we can hear all about what else is out there, right?
Yeah.
So tell me, why did you create Maloa Kitchens Health?
I did because it's really hard for women to simplify with all the noise on social media what it means to be healthy. And sometimes we get caught up in skinny instead of strong, cutting calories instead of just adding more protein and eating whole foods, modeling the behavior that we want our kids to chase after, right? So we worry as busy moms, my kid's not eating enough protein or they're just eating crackers. And what are you eating? So what are you modeling to them? And can we simplify what all of these behaviors around food look like for the family?
Yeah, it's important to encompass the whole family and not just the individual
Absolutely.
as well, because the environment as would reflects back on what you end up doing. Yeah. So you describe like a way of life that moves through everything that you do. What does that look like with someone working with you?
It is about making lifestyle changes. So I don't believe in the super fast, super quick fixes. I don't believe in the yo-yo dieting or in let me just do a 30-day challenge and stop there because I've lost some weight and I have my summer body for some time. But then the winter comes and I go back to the habits that I used to, that unfortunately, that's why I gained the weight in the first place. I'm really focused on, can we look at what your days look like, what your habits are right now, and can we start to tweak them so that we start to remove some of this friction between you and reaching those goals that you want and making lifestyle changes so that it's not okay, I'm good and eating good food, which I don't classify food as good or bad. But I'm going to Monday to Thursday, I'm going to be good. And then Friday, I have a dinner and I want to have some fun. And I've been depriving myself all week long. So I'm going to just go all out and have all the drinks and have all the dessert and have all of I'm not going to prioritize protein because I want to break. And then Saturday comes around and it's the weekend. And then Sunday. And then Monday, you're starting over. It's playing catch up, right? Trying to burn off what you had over the weekend. I believe that if you start to build the habits, the healthy habits that change your lifestyle and remove all of that extra friction, that you actually go into your weekend on Saturdays, on Sundays, living your life just like you did Monday to Thursday. That when a vacation comes up, that when a happy hour comes up, that when you have a dinner with your girlfriends or your family, there's a wedding, that you're not stressed, freaking out, don't know what to do, feel like your diet is too restrictive, so you can't go to something. I want us to come back to eating the whole foods that make us happy again, that don't, especially in our midlife, don't add to the stress of all of the hormone shifts and all the slowing down of the metabolism. So I am very much, I write on Substack every day and my Instagram every day, and everything It is just me repeating the same things over and over again. Protein forward meals, changing those lifestyle habits to be prioritizing movement, strength training, not cardio, and all those things.
I love what you said. I feel like I have the same conversation in the office every day with the whole all or nothing mindset. And then I'm good Monday to Thursday, and then it's
Yeah,
cheat day and things like that.
yeah,
And I'm like, no, this is not how this works. You need to have, like you said, like the new lifestyle, the habits of making those decisions during the weekend too, but still
absolutely.
having a fun and inclusive of things. And like you said, food isn't good or bad, but it's okay to have indulgence in something, but it doesn't have to be that all out destroy whatever work that you put forward earlier in the week kind of thing. Like just be in moderation kind of thing. So I feel like I have that same conversation every day. So I noticed that your other, I guess women feel like they're supposed to figure out health on their own. They feel like they're supposed to do that. But why is support accountability so important? I feel like this is one of your things that you focus on a lot as well.
Absolutely. The reason why I sometimes refer myself to as an accountability coach is because a lot of times when we are trying to do things, especially when we are in midlife, we have things happening in our bodies and we're thinking, I don't understand. I am eating the same that I always did, but I'm gaining weight. Why do I all of a sudden have this lower body fat? Why is I used to run every day and now that's not working. Accountability is so key in helping. So, first of all, educating is huge for me, all the things we just talked about. And then explaining, hey, you're in your midlife now. So, just doing cardio and not maintaining your muscle mass and keeping you strong isn't working anymore because as you age, you start to slowly lose your muscle if you don't maintain it. So, are you eating enough protein? And so when that education starts to happen, sometimes people start to feel overwhelmed and they feel like they're on this lone island and they're like, I'm okay. So now I do know that I need to be eating protein, that I need to be strength training, but what does that look like in my life? Because I have a toddler, my husband needs me, I work full time. How do I do that? So, when you have someone that's walking alongside you, that's checking in with you every single day, you don't start to feel that discouraging, okay, I thought I knew, I don't, I'm overwhelmed, I can't do it. And you give up. And that can be hard, right? Because are you going to prioritize these things over taking care of your children? No. So you start to get tired, you start to feel defeated, and then you do nothing. And then you start to have sometimes people have health conditions because of their muscle loss, because of all these things that they could have easily had someone walking alongside them and walking through it with them in their early 30s. And maybe now they're in their 50s and they're struggling with some things that maybe they wouldn't be. So, accountability looks like having someone checking in on you. Hey, how did breakfast go? What did you have? Okay, that's awesome. Next time, what do you think if we tweak this a little bit? Or, hey, that was great. Let's just try that again tomorrow. Or, hey, what's your plan for lunch? Oh, thanks for reminding me. I don't have lunch planned. What should I do? Or some of my clients will reach out to me and say, I have this dinner tomorrow. What do I do? They'll send me menus and I'll look at that with them so that when they're showing up to things, they're not feeling that stress. Life it can already feel hard, right? So this isn't supposed to be one more thing that moms are just like, yeah, that's not happening. I just don't have the time for it.
You already alluded to my next question, but I was gonna, and you said you like to repeat yourself over and over on Substack. So I'm gonna make you repeat some of these things. But
I
one of the
love
things that
to.
you talk about is why many busy women feel like their metabolism slows down in the 30s and 40s. Why do you think that the women feel this way? I know you already answered it, but
Yep, it is that unfortunately muscle loss starts to happen slowly when we are just running or thinking that walking is enough. We start to eat less because we start to gain some weight and we think, oh, in order to get rid of that lower body fat, I need to be eating less. And we are under eating protein and all of the fiber and the healthy fats that our body actually needs. And it's crazy because what happens is we think that we're doing ourselves a favor by eating less. And what we're doing is we're actually slowing down our metabolism. And with the The muscle loss happening slowly, the under eating of all of these whole foods that we really need for our bodies to be functioning properly. We also have our hormones shifting, right? We have estrogen and progesterone, which are only going to be able to be impacted positively when we are making sure that we're eating all of the foods that aren't creating those blood sugar spikes, aren't negatively impacting our insulin sensitivity, that aren't causing us to store fat, aren't causing us to be hungry, right? I don't think that a lot of people understand that because I talk about protein so much, like, why? I don't get it. And yes, it does help us build our muscle, right? Which we need. And I've said so many times why. But also, we have certain hormones in our body that are signaling our hunger. And when we are not eating protein, those hunger hormones, that's where the food noise is coming from. It is, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. Why am I always hungry? How much protein have you had today? You're 12, and people are like, but I had 2 eggs with my coffee. 2 eggs are like what, 12 grams of protein? Not enough. I'm talking 30 to 40 grams of protein each meal, not total in the day. So, what does your salad look like? Oh, I had a bunch of greens and a bunch of vegetables. Okay. And that's awesome. But where was your protein for dinner? I had this little piece of fish and right, that's not enough. That was maybe 20 grams. Can we get a little bit more in? Because again, our hormones are shifting. How are we turning off the food noise? How are we doing all of the things that can really benefit us by helping us in this season that we might be in? Because I'm going to be 40, so I want to maintain my muscle mass.
Yeah. As a personal anecdote, I find myself, if I'm continually hungry, even if after I just ate or something, constantly foraging for something. And to
Yeah,
me, it's like, I'm going to keep doing that until I've had enough protein. So, say I'm not in control of my meal or whatever was presented and it was less protein than I would normally eat.
yeah.
And I'm like, I find myself continually wanting something after until I've had enough protein. So, I find that if I'm not having at least 30, 40 grams of protein per meal, then I constantly am looking for something else, and I try to keep that available in the refrigerator. I'll go to
Yes.
a boring piece of chicken left over, or honestly, I've had these BJ's chicken nuggets that I got for my kids. They got the breading, but they're not fried. So I'll even eat that, and then I'll be able to stop looking for stuff. But
Yeah.
there's some other things I think that happen in this 30 to 40 time frame. And you already mentioned this too, like when you talked about busy moms. So busy moms are typically people who may have higher stress, may have difficulty with sleep, and maybe they're not prioritizing their own movement. So how would you say you deal with clients that might be suffering from those things?
I will actually go to the word that you said, boring. That's it. It's eating the things that we would call boring, right? Everyone
Mhm.
wants every meal to be Pinterest, Instagram worthy. Everybody wants the workout that's in the app that's an hour long, that's got all these weird moves that it's getting back to the basics. It's the boring stuff. It's waking up in the morning and having your coffee with some protein. As
Mhm.
simple as boiled eggs, as simple as an egg scramble with your sourdough toast with a a quarter half of an avocado on the side with a lunch that might mean a tuna salad, right? In a wrap that's high fiber, and having a dinner that is a simple fish that you, the other day I had this grouper and I seasoned it super simply. I didn't have a bunch of time. What did I do? I put it on a pan. I threw it in the air fryer. It was ready in 10 minutes. We had an avocado that was going bad. I mashed that up. We had some shredded lettuce that I had prepared that was going to go bad in a day. I took that, I put in a tortilla. It's really going back to the basics, the boring stuff. And with the workouts, it's traditional strength training. I am sitting right now in my like office slash gym. And what's in here? I've been working out in my home. Gosh, it's been probably 6 or 7 years now. And I'm able to build muscle using the Peloton app. and I hit play on a 30-minute workout. I have some weights, I have a mat. Simple. I don't do any crazy, we might have some burpees, but I don't do any acrobatic. If only we could get back to simplifying some of these things and having a smoothie, those are all things that are whole foods that are not complicated, that our kids and our families will love. And I know that sometimes we get caught up in some of these food labels, and some things will say healthy and high protein and everything. Check those labels, because some of these things are claiming to be high protein, and something that is 300 calories that has 10 grams of
Yeah.
protein is not considered high protein in my book. It's the flavored yogurts that have more sugar than protein. It's the granolas. I love granola, but the one that I have isn't full of all this sugar. And am I having it just as like the base of? No, I'm having my Greek yogurt with some granola sprinkled on top, right? Because I just need a little bit of the crunch. I need the protein more than I need just the granola as my base. I'm trying to think. The milks, right? We've gotten all these, the oat milks, can we just have like whole milk or 2%? And I mean, what's really neat is some things that are new are awesome. I love Pioneer Pastures milk. I don't know if you've ever tried it. It's got extra protein in there. And yeah, it's like a new innovative, but did I check the ingredients before I bought it to make sure? Yeah. And does it have a bunch of sugar? No. So I think it's just going back to what you said, some of the boring, super basic things.
I didn't even know I said the word boring. That must just be out of habit. So that's so funny. But you're right. I do tend to do the same things over and over. And you've mentioned great
Yeah.
tricks here, like boiled eggs. You can buy those are pre-done already, and they're
Yep.
not too bad expensive
Yep.
wise, unless there's a big egg increase in price again. It's been a little
Absolutely.
better. Using the air fryer, even like you said, that
Yep.
can be heated up so quickly. You can make a simple fish or protein in there to add more. And then you mentioned the protein, you can find it in everything and reading the labels. My daughter told me that they have a new Cheerios brand out that's going to be high protein. And I want the strawberry flavor. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Like, we definitely read our labels in our house. And she said there was no added sugar. My guess is they got some sort of new Cheerios that has protein with like stevia
Right.
or something like that. I don't know. I haven't looked at it yet, but it's important to know how to read a label. And I'm sure you work with your clients on that too, because some people just don't pay attention, take it for granted when it has some label on the box that says gluten-free or protein or healthy or vegan and think it's healthy. And like you said,
Right.
it could be totally full of sugar. And I think
Right.
the biggest guilty ones, like you said, was yogurt.
Oh, yeah, and it's hard, right? Because you'll go, and this is something that I do for my clients, right? They say, "Hey, I wanna meal prep," and not all my clients meal prep, but some of them do, or even just the ones that don't, grocery lists are big, where
Mhm.
they put together their grocery lists and they have me look at them together, and then when they're there at the store, sometimes they send me screenshots of, "Hey, what do you think of this one or this one?" And, I really want to educate and prepare my clients to go out into the world and to feel empowered in what they're doing, and to make it fun for their family to go out and get these things and feel good about them. I was laughing the other day because my daughter, we're big protein girls, right? And the other day at school, they were talking about vegetables, and they asked her what her favorite vegetable was. And she said pepperoni. And I can't lie, I'm very proud of that. And it's because we've made pepperonis one of our fun protein options. And it's something that she picked to try. She ended up loving it. And now every single week she's asking me for pepperoni. So it's little things like that, right? She loves chopsticks. She loves, and also reminding ourselves that our kids, they're just like us, right? We have our preferences of things that we like to eat too, but we don't call ourselves necessarily picky eaters. So, does she absolutely love every single thing that I put on her plate? No, but I'm giving her the opportunity so I'm exposing her, and then I'm giving her an opportunity to choose whether or not it's something that she wants to try. And sometimes she doesn't on the first time, and she does on the second. Sometimes even on the third, she's just decided it's not something that right now she wants. And she went through a phase where eggs just weren't her thing. And the other day, I tried it again. I decided to put a fried egg on her plate. and she loved it. She only ate the white, which is still fine, but and I could have easily said, "Oh, she didn't eat the whole egg, and so that's not good," or I don't wanna expose her again because a month ago, she declined it 5 times in a row. I literally just put it on her plate. I said nothing. She ate the whites, and this morning, she actually I made up her oatmeal, and she asked me for eggs tomorrow. So, let's just be more open to being don't be so I think we're sometimes so hard on ourselves because we want everything, and I have perfectionism tendencies, and I think that gets in the way of us really just trying new things out or trying things again. And let me tell you, did I stop eating eggs in front of her when she was on her egg sabbatical? No. But maybe that's one of the reasons why she was open to trying it again because she
Mhm.
kept seeing me eating it. Sometimes we go to birthday parties and I'm not a sweets person. I don't do the cake and cookies and ice cream. And so sometimes it comes around and I secretly just want to be like, no, and I just wait and she's declined it. And before she declines it, she looks over at me and wants to see what I'm going to do or what I'm eating. And she sees that I'm not. And it's not something that we have in our home. So she's just decided right now that it's not something that she wants. I think we should really give our kids more credit than we do in that they are so smart and they will surprise us for sure.
Yeah, I think you're very lucky. She's 3 and you're instilling these habits, and I think it's really
Yeah.
important to do that and model the right behaviors and keep introducing things. We never really made a separate meal for our kids. I can't imagine when people do that. Like,
Mhm.
I would drown in more work to do. So it's
Totally.
you're going to be eating this or not. But I know that some people really do struggle creating a family meal or getting their kids to eat. And that might be a little bit different topic, I think, than what we're doing today.
Yeah.
But I think it's great. And then the other thing that you mentioned, your home is your gym. Like we've definitely work out at home too. And I've been doing that for at least 10 years. And I think the
Wow.
kids see that too, right? So making
Mhm.
that as part of the example as well. So I think
Definitely.
it very much helps for the kids to see these things as they're growing up and things like that. So they'll do them themselves, hopefully. But
Yeah, and just like you're
mhm,
making your gym a visible thing,
mhm,
food is also that way, right? When we
mhm,
have these options, not only for our kids, but for ourselves, right? When we have things in our home that align with the goals that we have, we're more likely to succeed. If we have
mhm,
these other things around that we'll all just have one, are you really? Right? And again, that's where accountability comes in. And you have someone that's walking alongside you and making sure that you're not getting those things, but really trying to have the foods visible to us that we want to be reaching for is really important. And I know that sometimes we have people in our homes that don't necessarily have the same goals that we do, right? And they have food that we don't necessarily want to be reaching for, but can we move those things out of our right out of our sight? We don't want it right next to the coffee machine that we're going to go to every morning. We don't want the basics, right? Just putting those
mhm,
things tucked away and talking to whether that's our roommate, our husband, or whoever it is that we live with, and just saying, hey, I put your snacks over here. I'm just trying to really focus. And so if you can just help me out and be supportive, it's just not something that I really want to see and be tempted by.
mhm. Yeah, I agree. We call that setting up the environment. And that is,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
one of the things that have been probably detrimental to our society with the food
Mhm.
environment that we have. But setting up the home environment is certainly very important as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, what did you have anything else that you wanted to discuss? Because I feel like we've covered a lot today, and you've been giving us lots of good wisdoms and tips so far for
Yeah,
anybody.
I just wanted to touch on something that we were going towards right now when we were talking about removing those things.
Mhm.
I'm big on if someone goes back to my content and asks, what is this friction thing that she's talking about? That's
Mm.
it right there. I read a book about a decade ago called Atomic Habits by James Clear. And I don't know if you've read it, it's amazing. And it talks
Several
about
times.
that friction, right?
Right.
We have to if we start to observe our day and be more mindful, we are going to see that there are all of these little things that are getting in our ways that we're not realizing. It's that snack that we don't want to be reaching for, but we've placed it right next to the coffee maker. It's that we are setting on our alarm, but then we're almost putting like a little backup alarm just in case we don't. That's friction. You are just adding a little more to that that's getting in the way of you just getting up, right? It's not putting your workout clothes out in the morning. It's when you don't plan your workouts the night before. All of these little things get in the way. And when you start to remove all these little things and you set yourself up for success the night before and you set your alarm, you put your clothes out, you plan your workout that night before, your alarm is going off. You're getting up, you're getting dressed, you're going to your workout. You're not, it's almost like you're beating, that little mental, no, don't do it. It's early. You do it tomorrow. That voice is, you're done with your workout before that voice even wakes up, right? So removing all of those little frictions. I really recommend that book. I base a lot of what I do on some of the methods of how healthy habits are created based on the habit forming methods that are talked about in that book. So I just wanted to mention that quickly, that removing the friction can really help us get through our day easier.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great recommendation. I think I gave it to my entire staff for Christmas a couple
It's
years
so
ago.
great. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I could listen to James Clear. Sometimes I go back and listen to a
Mhm.
podcast that he's been on. He's great.
Yeah, that might actually be where I even maybe got the terminology of setting up the environment. I'm not sure. I don't
Yeah.
know. It was definitely a little bit ago, but yeah, it's an excellent book. You can apply it to really anything. And certainly if you want to
Great.
apply it to fitness, nutrition, and wellness, I think it's a great book. So I would highly recommend that as well.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So where can listeners learn more about you and connect with you and where to find you?
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much for having me. This was so fun. I am Mailoha Kitchens Health everywhere. I am on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, I write on Substack every day, and my Substack is, I don't know if a lot of people are familiar with Substack, but it's a blog. So I really go into more details of all the things that we talked about. It's hard on Instagram because it's a little bit more short form. Those are like little reels and carousels that are short form things. My Substack is more long form. So if you're looking for details on, maybe we talked about protein so much today, and people are like, okay, but what does that look like? What does 30 grams of protein actually look like for me? Real life, busy mom. All of that is in my Substack. So I would love it for people to come and follow me and subscribe. And yeah, and if anybody's listening and needs help, they can reach out to me. All of my information, even my email address is mailoakitchenshealth@gmail.com. So if anybody wanted to reach out to work with me, I would love it.
Yeah. And then you also mentioned you have an in-person opportunity too.
That's right. So at Be
Mhm.
Healthy here in South Tampa, I it's a wellness center. I am one of the coaches. So if you guys went on the Be Healthy website, you would also find me there and you would find a link to book me. We have a really neat Staiku scan, and having a scan is totally free. So if you guys wanted to come in, meet me, get a scan done and a quick health assessment, we offer that for free actually.
Thank you so much. We'll include all that in the show notes, and everybody stay tuned next week for next week's episode. Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you.